at Smart Objects versus Raster Layers in Adobe Photoshop. And Smart Layers are absolutely amazing in the sense that they keep all the information that you do to a layer in one place with that particular Smart Object. There is a slight downside in that there's a few things you can't do to a Smart Object directly, and also file sizes do tend to increase, but let's have a look at them anyway. So I've got this image of ronnie.jpg. I'm going to right click and I'm going to open with Photoshop, and of course there's a bunch of ways of opening in Photoshop. Let's maximize that. And first off, I'm going to duplicate the background layer, which is the image that we brought in. So my favorite way of doing this is just to drag it down to the plus button. You can also go in layer, duplicate layer, or right click and go to duplicate layer, whatever works for you. Alright, I'm going to unlock this background layer simply by double clicking on it and hitting OK. So now I've got two layers here. So if I do select one, grab my move tool, awesome, I can move that around. But I'm going to do a really interesting thing. I'm actually going to stretch out my canvas. So currently the canvas is, if we go to image, canvas size, we can actually see it's 600 by 576 pixels. And quite often what you'll see me doing in tutorials is I'll go C for crop, bring up the crop tool, and this will not only allow me to crop my image, but also allow me to expand out my canvas. And it is extremely useful. I'm going to undo that, Control Z. Instead, I'm going to do it a slightly different way. And I'm going to image and canvas size. And what I want to do is stretch this out widthwise. So I'm going to grab this anchor point here. I'm going to put it in the corner, and I want to increase it by double the width. So I could actually look at this and go 600 multiplied by 2 is 1200. But what I'm going to do is switch this to percent. In fact, if you've got relative ticked in, you just type in that number there. But I'm going to do it a slightly different way. I'm going to ask it to increase it by 100%. So 100% of the width is going to get added on relatively to that. So 100% and hit OK, and boom, it's exactly doubled my canvas. Well, subjectively. Move tool, I usually work with auto select off, and I'm going to grab that top layer, hold down the shift key as I'm dragging so it doesn't wobble all over the place. It'll lock me into 90 degrees, and there we have it there. So we've got two layers here. We've got this one here that I've just made a duplicate of, and what I'm going to do with that one is I'm going to right click on that and go to convert to Smart Object, like so. And what you're going to see is it's going to grab this little icon here, and typically that's going to potentially be in the corner of your image depending on how your screen is set up, but you'll see this little icon here, and that is going to tell me that that is now a Smart Object. The layer below, this one on the right, does not have that icon. So I'm going to rename these. The one on the right I'm going to call Raster. Sorry, the one on the left I'm going to call Raster, and the one on the right I'm going to call this Smart. So let's see what the difference is. At the moment, they're both exactly the same. So they both have exactly the same amount of pixels, pixel density, they have the same colors and everything. The difference is that now that I've converted the one on the right to a Smart Object, it remembers everything we do. So usually my big example of this is I'm going to shift select both of these and I'm going to transform them. I'm going to decimate them. So I'm going to hit Command or Control T, which is going to transform. You can also do this by going to Edit and Free Transform. It's good to know the shortcut for this. And I'm going to make sure my width and height are linked, W and H, in my transformation mode. And I'm going to grab that corner and I'm going to shrink it down. I'm shrinking it down a lot. If you actually look up here, you can see I've knocked it down to 1.46%. And of course you can do this manually if you need to. Try not to go past the negative, otherwise it goes mirror. And I'm going to hit Enter or the tick key to apply. Awesome. They're there. They're tiny. They're right at the bottom here. Alright, so Command 0, get me back to full screen. Now I'm going to scale them back up again. So Command T. And again, I can grab that corner and scale it back up again. Let's drag it up. And I'm going to hit Enter. So at the moment, the transformation is not applied. And what you can see here is I basically knock these down to 3 by 3 pixels. I'm going to hit enter and apply. Oh my goodness. So look what happened to the poor old raster layer. It got absolutely decimated. Photoshop's try to fix it as best it can by sort of creating this blur between things, which it's going to do by default, so you can actually change that if you need to. But the Smart Object has maintained its original resolution and quality and color and everything. So very, very different. If you scale the Smart Object up beyond what it originally was, it will obviously blur and it'll try to compensate for that, but it will maintain its original resolution. So I'm actually going to undo that. Control Z, Control Z, Control Z, also Command Z I should say, and I'm going to get these back to normal. So Smart Object is still smart, raster layer is still raster. Alright, let's have a look at some other tricks. So if I go to the filter gallery, and I'm going to go to other, and let's do, actually I'm going to go stylize, this one's a good one as an example, and go to emboss. And I'm only using this just because it's quite a bold kind of filter, and I can play around with that, get this kind of embossed effect. Wow, cool. Kind of looks like embossed metal or something like that. And I can adjust all that, and I can hit OK. Check what's happened to the Smart Object. It basically goes, there's a smart filter's now applied, and it has the emboss on it. Awesome. Let's do the same thing to the raster layer. Filter. Now I can go back down to stylize and back to emboss, or I can also go to the top, and top of the filters will have whatever the last filter was is right there. So I'm going to click on that, and it's applied exactly the same filter. But the big difference is the Smart Object has emboss as it's editable. The poor old raster layer does not. So if I want to change the Smart Object, I can simply double click on emboss, and it brings that filter back up, and I can play around with that. I can hit OK, I can turn off, I can delete it, and it does not destroy my original image. So super, super important. I want to say one of the deficits of dealing with a Smart Object versus a raster layer is that if I have a raster layer and I want to erase it, I can go E for erase and bring up my eraser, and it will allow me to do that. Okay, that's pretty cool. There's a few other things that I can do on there. I can go P for paintbrush, and I can select a color, and that will allow me to draw on that layer. Great. A raster layer will pretty much let you do anything to it. However, if I select on the Smart Object and grab a brush, it won't actually draw directly on there. It's actually created a brand new layer because it doesn't want you to paint on it. Now, prior to this edition of Photoshop, if you tried to paint on a Smart Object, it would come up with a warning saying that the Smart Object needed to be rasterized first. But in this case, it doesn't. Also, make sure I got the Smart Layer. If I go E for eraser, and I try to erase on this, this will come up with a warning say, must be rasterized. If you hit OK, that Smart Object becomes rasterized, and you can no longer access all of the filters and effects you've done with it prior. So I'm going to undo that. The key takeaway for this is use a raster layer as long as you can, particularly if you know you're going to edit it. So keep the Smart Object. Raster layers, however, are quick, easy. If you know you're going to be happy with the result, keep using them. A Smart Object at some point you may need to rasterize. If that is the case, you can right click on it and go to rasterize layer, and from that point it will lose its memory. At a later point you can go right click, convert to Smart Object, but it will only have its memory from the moment it's created. I do not have access to all the filters and stuff I've done before. So I'm going to step back in time again, Command Z, until it is still a Smart Object. It's got the emboss on there. I can do color corrections and all that. What a lot of people will kind of complain about Smart Objects is that no, you cannot erase them. Well, my suggestion is to use masks, which we will talk about. And if you use masks correctly, you may not need to erase a Smart Object. You will use a mask, which again is non-destructive. If you absolutely have to draw or paint or destroy a Smart Object, you can actually double click on the icon, on the thumbnail icon, and that will open up the smart object in its own window, and in there you can actually create, draw on, and if you save that, I'm just going to go Command or Control S or go File Save, and that will actually update in your smart object. So there are ways of doing it, but for my my worth, what I usually suggest is use the smart objects as often as you can until you're absolutely sure you don't need it, and then rasterize it. All right, I hope this has been helpful for you. Catch you on the next one.